of the biggest challenges that comes up over and over again in multi-generational families with a family enterprise or family business is developing the next generation. And I've noticed some things about it, and I've been working in the past few years with next generation groups actually all over the world, and I have some insights that I want to share about the nature and the role of a next generation family member. Most of the literature on next generation and succession sees the next generation person as either a kind of an entitled prince that has to be tamed down, or as a passive resource that needs to be developed, an empty vessel. And they rarely, and yet the reality is that the next generation people that I know are people who are educated, who are excited, who are taking very seriously the responsibilities of their role, and they more often than not, they don't know how to develop and bring their ideas and focus back into the family. So I've been doing a program all with family members from Next Generation all over the world called Empowering Transformational Leaders in the Next Generation. And the idea behind it is that the next generation person can sit back and wait for the family to tell him or her what to do, but that's going to be a very, very, very long wait. And as an alternative, the young family member needs to really focus on two elements of his or her development. And the first wave, or the first phase of development, is to look at themselves as a developing person. They have resources from the family. Mostly their education is paid for. They have options. They have opportunities to travel. They have networks and people that they know. And what they have to do is make some choices about who they are and what they want to do. And it is an easy choice. You have to explore the world and to look for the things that make them excited and passionate, but also look to an eye to what is it that they need to develop in order to be credible in the family. Because one way that the family, one reason the family doesn't take them seriously is that what's their experience? Where do they get these ideas? They come home from business school and they say, we have to do this in the family, we have to change that. And what the young person needs to do is to develop a track record and a set of capabilities so that he or she can be credible when they come into the family with their great ideas for what the family ought to do. So that's one point, is looking to self-development, looking for opportunities, developing their ability to see what's happening in the world outside of the family, not staying inside of the golden cocoon that the family provides for them of specialness and protectedness. The second wave is to come back to the family, and this is the part that's transformational and that's empowering, and not wait for the family to say, okay, you have the power, okay, you're the heir, we're expecting you to do this, but really to say, well, I have something to offer, I'm credible, but also we need to address some things as a family. And in a respectful way, what the next generation person has to do is come back and begin conversations with people in his or her own generation to bring them together to talk about where they are and what they want and what they could see for the family, and then to also open up communication in a respectful way with the older generation to say, here is what we might contribute, and let's talk about what might work and how to do it, and to open up the conversation rather than wait for it to happen about what will and how will the family develop over the future and into the next generation. So the idea is from the old adage, don't ask permission, beg forgiveness, to say to the family, we need to talk about this and bring it up. Well, I want to work in the family business, or I've been offered a job and I want to take that job, but in order to do it, I don't want to be told that what my future is, but I want to know what the parameters are. Where is our business going? How are we going to decide? What is the process of succession? What is my role in the family? And to begin to talk about that role with the elders and also with the other people, his or her siblings, cousins, people in the other generation, to begin conversations. And so the point that I'm making for next generation people is they can wait to be tapped on the head, but it's really not likely to happen. And the idea of empowerment is to not to wait until you're given the power in the family, but to say there are ways that I can create power. I can create power and authority in the family by being credible, by having done things outside, by bringing something to the family, by opening up a conversation which maybe the older family members don't want to have, by working with and collaborating with my next generation, and generally by becoming an active, empowered, responsible person contributing to the family and offering an invitation for what he or she can contribute, not waiting for the older generation to anoint them or crown them as the next generation king or queen.